We're gonna have a lot of fun today in music, so repeat after me. I can listen to and identify instruments of the orchestra by sight and sound. Hello, 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 and welcome to stop and listen. Hey kids, it's Miss Marlar here. Today we're going to talk about the woodwind family or the woodwind section. Here are some examples of woodwind instruments. We have the flute, clarinet, the oboe, the bassoon, and even though the saxophone's not always found in the orchestra, it is a woodwind instrument. So, if you guys remember our Classics for Kids website, when we talked about the entire orchestra, the woodwind section is here in orange, and actually the woodwind instruments sit behind the strings in the orchestra. The first woodwind instruments that we're going to talk about are the flute and the piccolo. The flute is one of the highest pitched instruments in the symphony orchestra. And it's known for its really bright and sparkly high sounds, and it has a really beautiful low tone as well. And in the orchestra, the flute plays the melody. Sometimes it has solos, and sometimes it plays the same part as the first violin. The flute is played by blowing air across the edge of an oval hole in the top section of the instrument, just like this young lady is demonstrating. And then the piccolo is actually half the size of the flute, and it's made of wood or plastic and sometimes metal, and it has a really clear, like piercing bright tone, and it's often heard in a solo within the orchestra. The next instruments we're going to talk about in the woodwind section are the clarinet and the bass clarinet. Here is a young lady playing the clarinet. The clarinet has a range of sound that goes from a dark low sound all the way to a bright high sound. It has a smooth mellow tone. It has a cylindrical tube that has a bell at the end of it, and it's played using a single reed, and a reed is a piece of wood or cane that is placed in the mouthpiece and it vibrates. The bass clarinet, this gentleman is demonstrating, is actually a very, very low, has a full, rich, strong sound, and it plays one octave lower than the clarinet. Here are pictures of the oboe and the English horn. The oboe is one of the most intense and expressive instruments in the woodwind family. If you've had a chance to watch Peter and the Wolf on my YouTube playlist, you'll remember that the oboe is the duck in Peter and the Wolf. And the oboe, it requires tremendous breath control and lots of air to play the oboe. In my opinion, it's a very difficult instrument to play. And you have to blow this air through the small opening between two different reeds. And then this is a picture of an English horn. It's actually not English or a horn. It's made of African blackwood and metal, and it has a really low alto oboe sound, and it has this distinctive bulge here at the end of its bell. And here are pictures of the bassoon and the Contra Bassoon. From Peter and the Wolf, the bassoon is the grandfather in the story. The bassoon is the largest and lowest sounding instrument in the woodwind family. It has a really low, rich, mellow, and very beautiful sound. The Contra Bassoon, which is here, is even larger than the bassoon, and it uses two reeds, and it plays one octave lower. The lowest notes resemble a deep rumble. And remember, an octave is 8 notes. Here's a picture of a gentleman playing the saxophone in an orchestra. Although it is found occasionally in the symphony orchestra, it's considered a member of the woodwind family because it has a single reed, like the clarinet. So there you have it. Those are some instruments in the woodwind family. The woodwind family is comprised of the flute, piccolo, clarinet, bass clarinet, oboe, English horn, bassoon, and contra bassoon, and sometimes a saxophone. They're called woodwinds because their earliest ancestors were made of wood. However, modern woodwinds are made from a variety of exotic woods and precious metals. Now, if you'd like to further your knowledge about the woodwind section, you can go to quavermusic.com and go to the Student Interactives tab there. And here, go to Instruments and Knowledge on the left, and then scroll down to Orchestral Woodwinds. When you click on this, it's going to pull up the different instruments, some of them that we've talked about today, like the piccolo, the flute, the oboe, clarinet, the bassoon, and then the bass clarinet. And what you can do is click on the instrument, and if you hit this play button, you can hear a sample of what it sounds like. And then you can also learn about the different parts of the instrument. See how many you can name. So that's it for the woodwind section. I hope you guys are enjoying learning about these different instruments. That's it for today. You guys stay healthy, and until next time, take care. Hope to see you all soon. Thank you.